Well, good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight as we talk about Strongsville City Schools and the kindergarten options for the school year 2024-2025. I'm Erin Green. I'm the Director of Curriculum here in Strongsville City Schools. So our students coming to us in the fall will be our class of 2037. These slides, as well as the recording that we are now doing, will be available on the website, as well as a frequently asked questions, the kindergarten registration form for full day, the information to register with the other documents that we'll talk about. It will all be under Find It Fast on the main page, and then scroll to kindergarten registration. That's probably the easiest way in which to access all the things all at once. Here's a list of our current district staff, should you wish to contact any of them. You can find emails for these personnel on our website. Our current elementary principals are listed below by building, and current Strongsville kindergarten teachers by building are also listed below. So this is both our full and half-day staffing. Next year it may remain the same, or it may alter slightly depending upon enrollment, staffing needs, and space considerations. So who's eligible for kindergarten in the fall? If your child will be 5 on or before August 1st of 2024, he or she's automatically eligible for admission into the program. If you have a child who is not yet 5 by August 1st, there is an option called early entrance that your child will need to be screened and tested by a psychologist in order to qualify. So essentially this is like a full grade level acceleration if your child is not yet 5 by August 1st. So if this is something that interests you, please give us a call at this number here, 440-572-7015, and we will get you on the list of people to contact. We do need you to call us by May 15th in order to have that arranged in time to get your child in our kindergarten program in the fall. If you are choosing early entrance and you're interested in full day kindergarten, the only thing you need to do other than call our office is to fill out the early entrance full day kindergarten request form. So you'll go to the full day kindergarten request form just like all other parents, and there's a spot to mark early entrance that you're considering for early entrance. And then you don't need to pay the deposit, you don't need to do any of the additional paperwork. If your child would qualify for early entrance, at that time, we would then start the process of the deposit and the other paperwork. So what are the options that we offer in kindergarten in Strongsville? So we have both a half-day and a full-day program. The half-day is traditionally about 2.5 hours. Times are listed below, and the full-day program is listed below here with these times, which are corresponding to the 1st through 5th grade students that attended that building as well. So they're all on that same schedule. Question that we often get asked is, why do we in Strongsville charge for full-day kindergarten? So the answer is that the state of Ohio provides funding for half-day kindergarten. They don't provide funding for full-day kindergarten. So in order for us to make this available in Strongsville, we have to recover the non-funded portion by charging tuition for the program. So there is no profit made by us. It's simply accruing the cost for the teachers and the program. So what differences are there if you're considering half-day, full-day? We'll talk a little bit about some of those. Both full and half day are going to offer the premier education and have them well prepared for first grade. So it's not a matter of how much they'll learn, as the content and the skills are going to be the same in both programs. However, because the half day is a considerably shorter amount of time, the full day program allows for more time to go deeper into the content, provide some individualized enrichment and interventions, can also do some additional activities in the full day program, such as potentially project-based learning or makerspace time, which is technology. Not to say that we don't do some of that in the half day, but there are more opportunities due to the duration of the full day program. Also, in the full day program, students receive additional time in the areas of art, music, and physical ed. This is available in half day. It's just half the time as a full day program student would receive. And then in the full day, they also get lunch and recess time with peers. Just to note that we do keep full day and half day student classrooms separate. So an entire class of half day students would be formed. An entire class of full day students would be formed. So it's not as if you have some coming and leaving throughout the day in the same class. So our goal here in Strongsville is to keep kindergarten classes at 25 students or fewer. In order to make a full day kindergarten class, we need to have at least 20 interested students in order to run it. And if there is a full day kindergarten registration cap reached at a building, what we can do is offer a spot at another building and or put you on a wait list for the home building. So until we have some things finalized on our end, we can't officially let you know, excuse me, if your child has been placed in your home building, but traditionally most students are placed in the home building. If you aren't placed in the home building, you'll be alerted to that and you have to make the decision. You're allowed to make that decision. Do you want to continue with the full day placement, or would you rather do the half day placement? We do make all efforts to keep siblings in the same building. So you'll see on the request form, if you're doing a full day request form, it does ask if there are other siblings in the building. We do keep the order of students by date and time stamp that the request form for the full day and then the deposit received as those are received. So I'll show you that momentarily. What that means is do it sooner than later. If you're interested in the full day spot, I'm going to show you the form that will open up tomorrow morning, Thursday morning at 8 a.m. You'll just need to fill that out, and the higher you are on that form, that's how we start to group kids according to buildings and how many classes that we'll have at each building. Just to note, the request form and then the deposit saves a slot in the full day program in the order received, not necessarily always at the child's home school. Now again, all efforts will be made. We understand the need, the desire to want to have your child at their home building, but we just want to put that caveat there that, you know, occasionally it may not be feasible, but we almost always are able to do so. As far as transportation, we do provide transportation to and from the school if it's over 1 mile away from your home address. So on our website, there is a non-busing street by building list where you can see, okay, am I over or under a mile? Will my child be bused to their home school based on where we live? And again, we'll make every effort possible to have your child attend at the closest possible school. If we have to place your child at a school other than a home school, because class sizes, have reached 25 or higher, we will bus your child to that building. So we will make that available for you for your child to be bused. We're often asked some questions about, babysitters. Can they be bused there? Only if the babysitter's house is located within the school's boundary and in the same half-day session area as the parent. So your child's home school, if your babysitter is in that same area of the building, then yes, we could bus your child to or from the babysitter's house. If you're planning to drop your child off, just as kind of an FYI, we ask that you don't drop them off any earlier than 10 minutes prior to the start of school. So if you're interested in a half-day session, again, oftentimes we're asked, well, can I pick AM or PM? We, at this point, can't definitively say. We can say that our half-day sessions are determined by the enrollment, how many students we have, the location in which we have the students, meaning area-wise, close to the home buildings, where are these students located, and then how much space is available in the buildings. If you've been following us at all, you know that we're relatively crowded, so we're making all available accommodations to have our classes in the buildings of the homeschool. However, we again just want to put that out there that we can't guarantee at this point that half-day sessions are available at every building, but as we get enrollment numbers, we'll know that closer to the spring. If you do have a need or a request for a specific session, you should direct that to the building principal. That would be something you do more so in the spring as we are looking to make class lists. So you don't need to do that right away. I would wait until you are told, where your child will be, what session, see if there is an AM and a PM session at that building, and then you can make that request. They can be accommodated if there's room in the requested session and if it's being offered at that time. Lastly, if you do make that request and you're asking for a different session than they would traditionally be placed in, so your child's scheduled in AM, you want PM, we do ask that because of the transportation routes, that's how they're decided, AM or PM, we do ask you for midday transportation to be put on the parent in order to make that happen. So when will you know where you're assigned? We will do building assignments mailed in April for your acceptance, or you can decline them at that time. So that's when we'll say, okay, your child has been placed at, for example, Muraski full day program. Do you want this placement? Yes or no. From there, that will kind of shift our listing as well. So if we have some students that decide, no, I don't want full day, or we have parents that decide, they're going to look elsewhere, or for whatever reason, that will shift. So if you were on a waiting list, or you were, we'll say, number 26 for a full day program, that would shift you up. So there's a lot of kind of wiggling that goes on with this entire process. That's why it's a little bit harder for us to justify or to actually state right now if you would be technically in the full day program at the building. In late June, then, after you've accepted the building placement, you'll get all the information about how to access what we use for our parent accounts online, called PowerSchool Unified Classroom. That's where you'll find transportation information. That's available a week or two before school starts. And then everybody's interested to know who's my child's teacher. You'll get that specific information posted at the building approximately a week before school begins. Here is Strongsville Early Learning Preschool. If you have a child currently attending at either of our locations, either the Lunn Road location or the Chapman Elementary location, you don't need to go through the entire process of registration. Just complete the questionnaire that you should be given at your preschool. So your child will bring home a questionnaire if they're of kindergarten age. You will fill that out. If you want full day, You will still need to fill that form out starting tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, and submit your deposit. Again, that's if you want full day kindergarten. Sometimes we're asked, my child has an IEP, will the team recommend full day kindergarten? And if so, is there a cost for that? So that is not something that we can answer holistically. Should the IEP team determine a need for it, they will talk about logistics, payments, those type of things. So for the general population, this is if your child is going to be 5 by August 1st, they're not in our early learning preschool program, here's the steps that you'll need to do. So starting January 11th, tomorrow, if you're watching this Wednesday evening, you're going to go online and complete the full day kindergarten request form. So that will open tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Again, the closer to 8 that you do complete it, the higher the chance you have of the home building. However, don't feel that you need to stay up the whole night and keep hitting refresh repeatedly. As long as you're somewhere in that near vicinity, the earlier the better, you have a pretty good chance. You also will need to submit a $300 deposit to the treasurer's office by the end of January. So here's the important date, January 26th at 4 p.m. And that is important that we get that deposit in order to keep your spot for potential full day kindergarten. Registration information is going to be on our website where I showed you earlier. And you'll need to complete the online registration. It's not yet open, but we'll open it mid-February, right around usually Valentine's Day. This year we're targeting February 12th, and it will be open for about a month. So what that does is it has nothing to do with the full day programming. It's now officially registering for kindergarten. So this is where you're going to provide all of the information about your child. You're also going to do the required documentation. That's going to be on this next slide, but we're going to need all of that by March 11th. Again, that helps us with planning purposes, creating classrooms. If you're doing half-day kindergarten, and again, your child is not in the early learning preschool, you'll do very similar steps, except you don't need to do the full day request form. You just go to the registration information on our website. Again, it'll open mid-February, and you'll need to submit that required documentation by March 11th. Now, as a reminder, if your child turns 5 after, but you want tested for early entrance, you don't have to do anything beyond just calling our office and setting that up. So here's the required documentation. Again, this is to register your child for our school district in general, whether it's half day or full day, it doesn't matter. This is what we need in order to legally register your child. So you can see the documents that you might want to start gathering when it opens mid-February. So the birth certificate, immunization records, a proof of residency. There's some explanation there on the slide. Verification of legal custody or guardianship if you have a child not living with both natural parents. Potentially a certified copy of the court order or the court-appointed guardianship if that's applicable. And then a photo ID of the parent. So again, that's by March 11th. You're going to upload all of these things to our website. Here are the different ways in which you can do that. The preferred method is just uploading the documents onto the registration site. If you're relatively computer savvy, that is the way in which it's probably the easiest to both receive and for you to get them to us. However, if technology maybe isn't your thing, you can scan them and email them. And you're going to want to email them to Mary Cox. Her email is mcox@scsmustangs.org. Just to make sure it doesn't get put into our junk or spam, include the student name and kindergarten registration in the subject. If you don't want to scan them, you can take a photo of the documents and email them to Mary Cox. Note to please send medium-sized photos. And then residency proof, it tells a little bit more about what we need to actually see. Lastly, if you just want to give us copies, you can place them in a drop box that we have out front at the administrative offices. So those are located at 18199 Cook Avenue. Please put those together in an envelope or staple them together, and then you can actually leave them in that secure drop box at any point. It's easier for us if you provide copies that we don't need to worry about getting back to you. If you're not able, you don't have one of those documents or something isn't working right and you can't upload those or submit those by March 11th, please reach out to us, the District Registrar, Mrs. Cox, 440-572-7048. That way she'll know and can make a note that what we're looking for you don't have yet, or we're struggling to find a way to receive it, and then we can walk you through that. So what if you change your mind, you're not sure, you decide, oh, I do want full day, and you don't do it right in this February or March time frame. You're still eligible for full day. You can still probably receive a full day spot. However, it may or may not be at the home building. So as we said earlier, we can put you on a waiting list for the building that you want to see if that slot opens up. Or we can say, we don't have a home slot at your home school. However, we would be willing to bus your child to, a different elementary school in our district. Is that something that you'd be interested in? So I don't want you to feel that if you don't immediately make the decision for full day, that you don't have an option to be in full day. However, again, the earlier that you make that decision and fill out the full day request, the better the odds are. Moving into the actual financial component, at this point we have a ballpark range of what tuition cost will be based on the last several years. It should be between $2,200 and $2,700 for the year. Now note this could vary based on enrollment. However, the last 8 years or so, it's been right around that range. We do ask for a $300 deposit if you're electing full day kindergarten, and we do need that as the date, the end of the month there that we showed you that date, and I'll show you again. We need it at the treasurer's office, and I'll show you a couple ways that you can pay that. So the final cost will be communicated to you once we actually have that. Typically that's around April or May that you'll get the actual bill for that. We will invoice you in 2 installments minus the deposit. The first payment will be August 9th, and then the balance due will be December 13th. There is a $50 discount if you pay the full tuition by August 9th. Different options for how you can do that. This applies for the deposit. It also applies for the actual tuition. You can do cash in person during our business hours, which are 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. You do that at the treasurer's office, and we would give you a receipt for that. You can do a check payable to Strongsville City Schools. You can either drop that off here at the building or mail it to us. Again, please note that we need to receive it by that January 26th deadline at 4 p.m. Here's our address. There is an option for credit card. However, note that the surcharge does apply. It's lower if you use a debit card versus a credit card. We do not take credit card payments on site. So if you're planning to use a credit or debit card, you'll need to use that through the system. If you miss a payment, if you decide, you do either the deposit and the first payment and you miss the second payment, or you don't pay the first half of it, we may place your child in a half-day kindergarten classroom. However, we're going to reach out to you first. We're going to make sure that you receive the invoice, set up a payment plan if need be with you. we want to keep your child in the most consecutive spot or the most similar spot and not move them all around. However, this is possible if you decide at the end of first semester that you want to move them to a half-day classroom because of finances. That is something that we have done before. Again, here are the 2 dates to keep in mind. If you decide that you want full day and you go ahead and pay the $300 deposit, but then change your mind, please contact the treasurer's office at this phone number here. As long as that's done by May 31st, you'll receive the full $300 deposit back. If you cancel by July 19th, you'll receive half of the deposit refunded to you. So again, if you're putting down the deposit, you change your mind for any reason, make sure you let us know by May 31st so that you can receive that full $300 deposit back. A couple other questions that we often receive: is there before and after school childcare in the district? We do partner with Right at School for before and after school care. So that's before the traditional school day, before the 9:05 start, and after the 3:30 dismissal. More information is on our district website, as well as this site here, rightatschool.com/districts/Strongsville-OH/. What and where is kindergarten orientation? Again, we're getting into the future here, but for those of you who like to plan ahead, we're looking at August 19th. Kindergarten students and their parents will attend orientation with their child's teacher. So this is the first day of school for all other students other than kindergarten students. You'll come with your child that day, and the teacher will give you the schedule and all the information that you need prior to that. But some things you'll do is meet the teacher, see the classroom, learn about what's going to take place through the year, practice the school bus, bring your child's supplies, those type of things. So again, if you just want to pencil that in, that's the slated school year calendar for next year. And your teacher will communicate with you again, what time that is. It's not the full day. It's usually a 2-hour increment. You will need to transport your child to and from that day, as we don't do busing. Before the school year, do we do kindergarten screening? Yes, there are plans to hold a half-day screening in mid-August. Again, once we have the numbers, we have the names, we know who is going to be in which classes, we will send information about those dates, times, and locations. Typically, we offer a few different dates a couple weeks before school starts to allow you to select a date to come in. What this lets us do is some of the mandated state testing called the Kindergarten Ready Assessment. It gives us a nice baseline as to where your child is in relation to entering kindergarten. It doesn't do anything, to hold your child back. It just is information we give to the teachers, and we're mandated to report to the state. If you can't attend that kindergarten screening, we can screen once the school year starts. Again, if you're super prepared and you're looking for child supply lists, we'll have them in July on the district website. Again, go to the website and you'll see school supply lists pretty prominently posted, and that's where you can locate those. So again, going through the important dates, starting on the 11th of January. So if you're watching this Wednesday evening, this will be Thursday morning at 8 a.m. That's when we're going to officially open the form for full day requests. We need to receive your deposit of $300 by January 26th if you're doing full day request. Then starting mid-February and lasting for about a month is when you're going to do the official online registration. So this is for full and half-day students, essentially letting us know that you want to register your child for kindergarten in Strongsville City Schools. Please have that completed and uploaded by March 11th. If that's not possible, give us a call and we can help you with that time frame and any questions you may have. Mid-April, we'll mail out the placement letters letting you know where your child is slated to go to the building. You have until May 31st to decline that placement and receive the full refund. If you decide by July 19th that you're not interested in the full day placement, you can have half of the refund back. We will mail those tuition bills or statements in July. August 9th would be that first payment due, minus the deposit. August 19th is our tentative date for kindergarten orientation, again, pending that our calendar is officially adopted by the Board of Education the way it's currently slated. August 20th would be the first day of school for our kindergarten students, and then December 13th would be the second tuition payment due. Here are those dates again. You'll be mailed a letter with specific details and times regarding kindergarten orientation closer to August. So just to recap once more here, if you want full day kindergarten, you're interested in that. Starting tomorrow morning, you'll go to the website, strongnet.org. Under Find It Fast, go to kindergarten registration. You'll want to fill out the full day kindergarten request form and submit that. You should receive an email response just letting you know that we received it. Check your spam or junk folder if you don't see it come through your email. And then we need to have that deposit by Friday, January 26th at 4 p.m. If you have specific questions, feel free to reach out to these people directly. Anything with financial questions, please reach out to Melissa LePage. Here's her email and phone number. Anything with programs or academic questions, that would be me. Please note that it's my full first and last name, which is unlike the typical email addresses for Strongsville. And we look forward to partnering with you for your child's education. So we're excited to welcome your child, whether it's full or half day. I do just want to walk through a couple of the sites here just so you know what it looks like. The frequently asked questions will be located on the website. They should be there now. But this walks you through all of the things that we just talked about. So it shouldn't be anything new or different. It's just a little more concise than the slide shows. And you can see all of the information that we talked about, plus a little bit more is located on here. And there's a nice sheet of important dates on that last page there. This is what the full day request form will look like. So if you go to our homepage, strongnet.org, this is where the Find It Fast is. And these update and change a little bit during the year as to what's critical. But you'll go down to Find It Fast, kindergarten registration. And that's where you will see all of the information. So here's all the stuff for incoming kindergarten students for 24-25. The slides will be added here. The parent meeting recording that you're currently watching will be added here. And then this is where you'll want to click to do the full day request form. And it shows you, it's accessible 8 a.m. on Thursday morning. You can also pay starting at 8 a.m. on Thursday morning. So what this looks like, and again, it won't be open until, I have it open now, but it won't be officially open until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. But just so you can see what type of questions are being asked. Filling this out, you understand the child will be placed on a list for assignment for full day kindergarten based upon when you submit the form. Then once you're notified of the placement, you can decline it or accept it. Here's all the information again. So this is that same web page, should you want to visit that again. It will collect your email, but sometimes that's not always the same email that you want your information to come through. So go ahead and enter your email again. If you have, I know sometimes you want more than one communication to come to you, put in the primary email, and then from there, if there's another email that you need, let me know and we can add that to the form. Parent last name, so this is going to be who's completing the form. So email, parent last name, parent first name, and your home address. Select the zip code, put the primary phone number where it's best to contact you, and then student last name and student first name. Here we ask for your student's date of birth. Remember, as we talked about August 1st, the student needs to be 5 in order for automatic entrance or admission. Go ahead and type that in. A common mistake, sometimes we get the year 2024. Don't forget to put the actual birth date year of your child. Here's the question if you're doing the early entrance. So if your child will not be 5, are you doing this for early entrance? So yes, my child will need to go through the early entrance testing and you'll call to set it up, or nope, your child will be 5, so you just click this one. Students homeschool, if you know which school your child would attend in the boundary selected here. If you aren't sure, just click the unknown. That just helps us with transportation and looking at boundaries and enrollment. Here's where we talked about, do you have other students in your family that attend elementary schools in Strongsville during next school year? If so, please let us know what building or buildings those are. And lastly, does your child attend our early learning preschool at either location, yes or no? And then submit. So that's all there is to it. You'll want to then, some point after, do the full day deposit, a couple different ways. This is not yet published, but it will be. This is where you can fill it out with a credit card or debit card with a surcharge, or you can bring it or mail it to our office. So other information here, pretty much everything that you would need. It goes through it again, required documentation. You'll see that registering will be activated on 2/12 of 24. So once, not to do with full or half day kindergarten, but just registering your child in general for Strongsville City Schools starting 2/12, that will then open and you'll upload the required documentation. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Again, feel free to check out our frequently asked questions, or you can view the slides or the meeting again from our webpage. And if you still have questions, feel free to reach out to me or any of the aforementioned people with regards to any questions you may have. So we look forward to welcoming you and your child to our 2024 fall kindergarten. Thanks so much for joining us, and let us know if you have questions.